Hi everyone, welcome to this month's Masterclass in the Mindvalley Academy. This is Vision, and I'm looking forward to being your host tonight. See, this class is going to be quite exciting. It's not just me sharing with you powerful ideas on how to shift your life by interviewing one of America's foremost authorities on human potential. In this class, we're interviewing 5 of the world's top authorities on human potential. So, first, let me tell you why this class is so important. There's a famous story of the motivational speaker Zig Ziglar, who would travel to companies, and Zig was well known for being hired to come and speak to many Fortune 500 companies and take their employees and get their employees performing at a whole different level of performance. So in this particular company, as the story goes, Zig assembled all the key managers into a room and he said, all right, let's talk about the top people in this company, the top people in your organization, and let's make a list of all the qualities that make them such remarkable individuals. So one by one, for an hour, the managers started tossing out qualities of people. They were positive. They were happy. They were in good health. They always had a smile on their face. They were hardworking. And after 1 hour, they had about 100 qualities listed. But Zig pressed on. He really wanted to make a point. He made them press on for another 1 hour. At the end of 2 hours, they had about 114 qualities that Zig had written down on a whiteboard. Zig then said, okay, now let's look at these qualities and let's see, is this a skill or is this an attitude? And one by one, he would add S for skill or A for attitude next to every quality. Now, as he went through this list of 114 qualities, what he found, what the managers found, was that 107 were attitudes, 7 were skills. 7 were skills such as the ability to code or the ability to truly grasp accounting. 107 of 114, almost 95%, were attitudes. It was about optimism. It was about leadership. It was about being empathy. Attitudes were what made people successful. Now let's think about what you paid to learn in college, right? Did you learn attitudes or did you learn skills? Sure, you probably learned some attitudes in college. You probably learned leadership through various student organizations you may have joined. You probably learned to be hardworking from the deadlines you had to go through to complete your papers. But primarily, modern education teaches skills. This, however, isn't the way I believe education should work. You see, to me, what has always been the most important things that have driven me forward in life has been transformational education, the kind of education that teach attitudes. And I learned this not from modern education, but from the many books my father exposed me to from the age of 14 when I first got into this whole personal growth movement. So if you're here, congratulations, because you're on the right path. You're focused on transformational education. This is what truly moves you forward in life. Skills will get you at a certain level. Transformational education get you going at an exponential level. You grow, you perform at an exponential level. See, when you learn something such as positive thinking or relationships or how to calm your mind and be in a state of perpetual bliss, it impacts every area of your life. And so you grow as a human being in all aspects. I did not learn transformational education from the University of Michigan, which is where I studied. It's one of the world's top engineering schools. We were ranked number 5 for computer engineering in America. But what truly made me successful, I now run several tech companies, were these. It was these books that I picked up from my father's shelves. These were some of my favorites. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. And these are all the original books I read. This one is probably about 15 or 20 years old. Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda. Incidentally, Steve Jobs' favorite book too. The Law of Success. This isn't even mine. This is my dad's. I just loved it so much I insisted on taking it from him. This book is about probably 30 years old. And I don't mean it was printed 30 years ago. I mean this particular edition of it, you can see it's wrapped in plastic because that's how much I love it, is 30 years old. So it was these books that drove me forward in life, that made me successful. It was transformational education. And so that's the point of this masterclass. I got together 5 of our best-selling authors in the Mindvalley Academy, the world's first online university for transformational education. And I asked them a simple question. If you could teach someone a truly powerful skill, a truly powerful aspect, tool that they could apply in their life immediately, to elevate every aspect of their life and just make them more impactful, powerful, happier, wealthier as a human being, what would you teach? And this is what these 5 amazing experts are going to share with you today. So we're doing this because it's now been 6 months since we launched the Mindvalley Academy, and it's been going really well. 180,000 students. Our monthly webinars like this one typically get about 50,000 people going through them, and we end up basically, we've become one of the fastest growing personal growth companies on the face of the planet right now, and it's all thanks to you, our 1.3 million subscribers. So thank you for that. So what I'm going to do now is introduce the 5 experts who are going to be sharing some of their profound advice with you. We're going to get started, and I hope you're going to have a wonderful, mind-expanding time in the next 60 minutes with me and our guest speakers. So let's get started. Now imagine for a moment you're one of America's top transformational authors. You've been sharing your work with thousands upon thousands of people all across the world. And all of a sudden, I call you up and I say, tell me, if you could share one tip in under 7 minutes that would completely change someone's life, what would you share? So I asked this question to people like Bob Proctor, the legendary Bob Proctor, and Laura Silva, who runs the Silva Method, Christy Marie Sheldon, who is one of our best-selling authors in the Mindvalley Academy. And all of them are such wonderful human beings. They prepared these beautiful lessons in the form of videos to share with you. So they're scattered all around the world. Many of them are traveling, touring, so we couldn't do this live, so I had them submit the videos. But the quality of what you're going to learn in this video can truly transform you. So here's what we're going to be covering. Firstly, Bob Proctor is going to be sharing a really powerful tool. You can do this in the morning. You can do this before going to bed. It's just a really powerful tool that lets you hit impossible goals with ease. And this tool is based on a piece of advice that the legendary Andrew Carnegie gave to a young writer by the name of Napoleon Hill. When I saw this video by Bob, I was so mind blown, I immediately rushed to my room to try this out on myself. Second, you're going to be hearing from Carol Tuttle. Carol Tuttle is the author behind the popular Chakra 7 course in the Mindvalley Academy, one of our top courses on mind-body healing. Carol will be sharing with you a really beautiful technique that you can use to get yourself to dream bigger and to start believing that you can do more, to raise your limitations in terms of what you can impact in the world. Christy Marie Sheldon is going to be sharing with you a simple technique. It takes just 4 minutes to learn, and it's all about getting yourself to ask the right questions in life. Bert Goldman. Bert is the author of the popular quantum jumping course. Bert's video was not received on time, but because Bert and I are really good friends and I use many of Bert's techniques in my life, I'm going to be sharing Bert's most powerful technique that I personally use almost on a weekly or monthly basis, and it's called energy redirection. Then finally, Laura Silva, the face of the Silva Method. Laura's father, Jose Silva, pioneered Silva Mind Control, which is basically the start of the personal growth revolution in America. Laura Silva is now the face of the organization. Jose Silva passed away in 1999, and what she's going to be sharing here is the most used, the most powerful Silva Method tool in their entire program. This is the most popular tool that graduates use, and you're going to learn it right now, today, as part of this webinar. So let's get started, shall we? We'll begin with Bob Proctor. Now, what Bob is going to be sharing with you is a simple technique that Andrew Carnegie gave to a young writer by the name of Napoleon Hill. Andrew Carnegie, for those of you who have not heard of him, was the richest man in America during his time. He was the Steel King. But Andrew Carnegie wasn't just the richest man in America. He was the man who made philanthropy cool. He wrote a beautiful essay that I read when I was a teenager. And it was about how he believed that the duty of the rich was to give money away to allow humanity to progress. That essay inspired me to become a philanthropist and to start the Mindvalley Foundation. See, Andrew Carnegie wasn't just an incredibly rich dude. He gave away more than pretty much any living person alive today. In real dollars, he gave away more than Bill Gates. Andrew Carnegie gave away about $300 million during his time, which is more than Bill Gates if you bring it down to about $2010. And he built schools and hospitals and universities to help Americans progress. So really wonderful, inspiring man. Now, Napoleon Hill was a young journalist who was interviewing him, and Andrew Carnegie gave Napoleon a bit of advice that ended up allowing Napoleon to unleash his full potential and become one of the world's greatest writers. So, you're going to be learning that technique from Bob Proctor. Well, let's get started.
Hello there and welcome. Vision asks for a single transformative technique that can make a great change in your life. And I'm going to give you one. Now, this is a story that you may or may not know, but it's one that I have studied for a little over 50 years. Andrew Carnegie in 1908 was the wealthiest man in the world. He was considered the first billionaire. Napoleon Hill was a very young cub reporter for a magazine in his early 20s. He was fortunate enough to get a 3-hour interview with Andrew Carnegie. At the end of the 3 hours, unbeknownst to Hill, Carnegie found something. He found something that he thought he was looking for in Napoleon Hill. And he said, Napoleon, this interview isn't ending. It's just beginning. And he said, I'd like you to come home with me. And he took him home, and Hill stayed there for 3 days. Now, Hill said he was glad that he asked him to stay there because he didn't have enough money to get a hotel room. Andrew Carnegie told him that he thought it was an absolute sin that people like himself were going to their grave with all the knowledge they had gathered in their lifetime that made them so successful locked up in their bones. And he said, I want someone to go out and write the laws of achievement. Now, he said, Napoleon, I want to share my philosophy with you. And over 3 days, that's essentially what Andrew Carnegie did. At the end of the 3 days, he said, now, Napoleon, I'm going to ask you a question. I only want a yes or a no answer. And unbeknownst to Hill, Carnegie had given him exactly 60 seconds to answer the question. He said, and he was timing him with a stopwatch. He said, would you dedicate the rest of your life to an idea for which you would probably receive no material compensation for at least 20 years? In 29 seconds, Napoleon Hill said, yes, he would. I have thought about this many, many times. And I've come to the conclusion that I would have said yes, too. If I had spent 3 days with Andrew Carnegie, I think I'd be able to tell, is this man just? Is he on track? Well, he adheres to the laws of the universe. And Hill thought, yeah, he's the good guy. So he said, yes, he would, in 29 seconds. Hill later on said that he was just 31 seconds away from the greatest opportunity that anyone has ever offered. And he said, I'm going to give you letters of introduction, and I want you to go out and meet these people. I want you to spend the rest of your life doing this, and I want you to gather information and write the laws of achievement. And he said, by the way, Napoleon, I'm not going to support you. You have to support yourself as you do this. That was a daunting task. Now, he said, Napoleon, we've spent 3 days together. You've got a pretty good idea of what my philosophy is all about. And he said, I'm going to give you an affirmation because you're going to come up against some real tough challenges. And everything in you is going to want to quit because that's what weak people do. But he said, I don't think you're weak, Napoleon. So you will need something, though, to get over this hurdle. I said, I want you to write this out. I want you to underline every word. This is an affirmation. This is a statement, Napoleon, you are going to be saying to yourself. Now, this is what I want you to write, Napoleon. Andrew Carnegie, I am not only going to equal your achievements in life, I am going to meet you at the post and pass you at the grandstand. Napoleon Hill looked at him and he threw his pencil on the floor. Now he says, you know darn well I'm not going to be able to do that. He said, yes. He said, I know you're not, Napoleon, unless and until you sink that idea properly in your mind. No, I said, I want you to write it out. And then I want you to look in the mirror and I want you to repeat that every morning and every night, at least once in the morning and once at night. And I want you to do that for 30 days. So Napoleon said, yes, he would commit to doing that. So he wrote it out. And he said the first time he repeated it, he felt silly. He was living with his brother, so he locked himself in the washroom to look in the mirror and doing this. And he said he felt silly because he thought it was a dumb idea. So he looked in the mirror and he whispered, Andrew Carnegie, I'm not only going to equal your achievements in life, I'm going to meet you at the post and pass you at the grandstand. And he said he felt silly doing it. But he had committed to do it for 30 days, so he wanted to keep his commitment. He said by the middle of the month, he didn't think it was silly anymore. He thought this might work. By the end of the month, he knew it would work. Now it's reported that Andrew Carnegie has made, or did make, something like 53 millionaires in his life. And keep in mind, he was the wealthiest man in the world at the time. Napoleon Hill has made millions of millionaires. Do you see, the idea worked. Now, Carnegie said any idea that is held in the mind, that's emphasized, that's either feared or revered, will begin at once to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate form available. Now, this is the transformative concept that I want to share with you. I want you to think of anything you want. I don't care how ridiculous it is. If you can think of it, you can do it. And I want you to write it out in the present tense. And then I want you to commit to do this at least twice a day for 30 days. I want you to read your affirmation. You're reading to yourself. You're talking to yourself while you're looking at yourself in the mirror. But if you don't just look in the mirror, you look right into your eyes. Now, since you cannot look into both eyes at the same time, you say this once looking into one eye. And then you say it again looking into the other eye. And you feel it going right into you. You see, the eyes are the windows of the soul. And you want to plant this affirmation deep in your subconscious mind. I have done this ever since I read that idea. I've been doing it for over 50 years. I had no formal education. I had no business experience. I have earned millions of dollars. I sat in a room in a house on Maplewood Lane in Glenview, Illinois. And I wrote out I was going to have a company that operated all over the world. Today, I've got a company that operates all over the world. Think of this. It worked for Napoleon Hill. It worked for me. It'll work for you. You write your affirmation in the present tense, and you stand in front of a mirror, and you look right into one eye, and you see that idea going right into your subjective mind. And then you repeat it again by looking into the other eye. And you repeat it and see the idea going into every cell of your being. Do that every morning and every night for the next 30 days. I guarantee you, as sure as it's going to get dark tonight, that'll happen. This is Bob Proctor, and thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Now, when I heard that technique from Bob, I immediately rushed to my bathroom mirror to try this out on myself. I'm now doing this every morning. It's been 3 days now. I feel wonderful. So, totally recommend this. Let's go on to our second author. So, if you have a pen and paper, I suggest you take one out at this point because you might want to take some notes when Carol Tuttle teaches you this technique. See, a lot of us face a really basic limitation in life. We aspire to do big things. We aspire to make more money, to truly express our creativity, to maybe travel to places we want to travel to, own certain things. But in all of us, that tiny tinge of guilt or limitations that we may have picked up as kids. You know how as kids you will have these wild, crazy dreams of being an astronaut or being a doctor or owning a particular car. And as you become an adult, you stop dreaming. You start believing that these are going to be beyond your reach. Well, this technique is about extending your reach. So you start believing that these wild, impossible, crazy dreams that you had as a kid might be possible again. Let's get started with Carol.
So notice you have a desire. You have a desire for something that I believe is you're worthy of it. It has nothing to do with your worthiness. Whatever your concept of God is that God, it's okay if you have that. But what happens in that moment when we feel a desire, we've been trained from early in childhood to squelch it. I've taught a lot of parents this practice of stop telling your children you can't afford things because you're teaching them to have poverty consciousness. It's a great way to create a lack mentality and to continue the generational programming of not enough. And so you've been trained early in your childhood to believe you can't have what you want. You can't have what you desire. And so in that moment, and if money's a factor, your mind will quickly go from desire to, I can't afford that. How much will that cost? I don't have the money, so therefore I cannot have it. And in that moment of switching your thought from feeling desire, hoping, wanting, feeling that higher vibration, your mind flips into the, but I can't have it, because your energy, your vibration drops. So the desire is up here. The vibration of what's desired is high. The response brings your vibration down. You've been programmed to go to that lower vibration. And so in the process of manifestation, what we're very practiced at is, rather than increasing our belief to match our desire, let's say desire's up here, but then we go into the, I don't believe I can have it. I don't have the money. Things won't happen for me. There's a variety of reasons why we kick in the belief of I can't, it won't happen. So now we've got this conflicting kind of vibrational conflict. And so what we've been taught to do is, rather than learn how to raise the energy of our belief to match desire, to allow manifestation, we've been taught to shrink our desires and to want less and to expect less, and then to even convince ourselves, well, it really doesn't matter because I really don't want it. And that's not true, because when you finish the sentence, well, if I could have what I really want, what I'd really love to happen, then you get really honest with yourself. So today I'm going to teach you a technique to raise your belief. Because really, when you put out that energetics of that high vibration of desire, the universe goes to work to put all of the details, all of the variables, the synchronicity of it all to come into play and to be able to manifest your heart's desire, what you really want. And you don't have to worry about where the money's coming from, how it's all going to happen. In fact, one of my favorite verses that Deepak Chopra teaches in some of his earlier work was, he was teaching some grad students about funding a graduate study. And he was one of the students, and they asked the professor, where's the money going to come from? And the response was, well, from wherever it is right now. That was not a concern. It's like, as we hold the space of desire and believe, so you have to raise your belief, because when desire and belief are both at a high vibration, the universe is free to bring together all the variables, the money, the timing, the people, that allows the manifestation of what you desire. So a couple phrases, when you catch yourself first that you go here, and then you start to shrink your desire and go, oh, that's right, I'm going to build my belief. I'm going to rise up my belief of vibration. Just like you have to train for a marathon or take care of your body, you have to take care of your belief. You have to exercise your belief. And so a couple things to say to yourself in that moment is, well, I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to be fun to see how it all comes together. Well, I'm excited. I'm going to ask the universe to bring this into my life, God, my angels, whatever factors you employ, and I'm going to hold the space that this can come to pass. See how it keeps rising and rising? So as you meet that desire with belief that it can happen, that vibration now is very full, very whole, and the universe can meet you and manifest to you in that space. Now, an added trick when we use the phrase, my heart's desire, that's your heart chakra. Your heart chakra is this is from the fourth chakra up, we move into the higher vibration of chakras. In fact, it's fair to say that the first three chakras, first, second, and third, are our lower chakras, have to do with our physical experience. The heart starts to become the bridge to the more esoteric spiritual chakras. And so our heart is the bridge between heaven and earth. And so as we work with this chakra, we can employ this. It feeds belief. It feeds our hope. We think of hope, heart. Here's a simple technique. When you have a desire and you're working on raising that belief, visualize what you desire coming into manifestation. What would you feel like? What would you be talking about? How would you be sharing your experience with others? What would it look like? Get into the what would it be like if it was physically alive for you, happening, you were experiencing it. Take that energy, take your hand, your right or your left hand, put it on your heart chakra, and then place your arm out in front of you. So you're going to pull it towards you and do the sideways figure 8 or the infinity sign, and you're going to connect your heart with bringing in what you desire by sweeping it in, crossing up and over, pulling it in, receiving what you desire, connecting with your heart's desire. And it's pretty amazing how powerful this simple little figure 8 tool is, because it creates connection from your heart.
Thank you, Carol. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And now we go on to technique number 3. This is a technique from my dear friend, Christy Marie Sheldon. So Christy is the author of the Love or Birth course, which is on the Mindvalley Academy. I love this program. I took it in 2010. Mindvalley publishes it. And I still use the tools from this program almost every single day in my daily meditation. And when I hit a somewhat intractable problem in work or in life. Christy is a wonderful teacher. I actually get on the phone with her about once every month or so just to have her coach me on enhancing various aspects of my being. So she's a great friend, teacher, and just a lovely individual. Now what Christy is going to be teaching you is a simple technique. I love this technique because you're going to learn it in under 4 minutes. And it's called the power of lofty questions.
Hey there, this is Christy Marie Sheldon. Thank you so much for joining this community and bringing your positivity. I enjoy helping others, and today I thought I would share a quick tip that I use, and I teach my clients and friends the same technique. So let me ask you this question. How many of you have ever thought any of these questions? Have you ever thought, how come I'm always broke? Or how come my life stinks so much today? Or how did I get so many bills? Or how come I'm the only one that does anything around here? Or on a personal level, maybe you've asked inside yourself, how come my friends or my maid or my family isn't around for me when I need them? Well, can I share with you a secret? Those type of questions are stopping you from getting what you desire. They are blocks to your personal and financial freedom. They are stripping away, just literally deleting your manifestation powers. How? Well, let me give you an example. I want you to think for a moment of a pink elephant. Okay. Now, what did you think when I asked that question? You know, obviously, I told you to think of a pink elephant. What popped into your head was pink elephant. So when you ask the type of questions that I mentioned before, like, why am I broke? Or why does my life stink so much today? You're basically sticking your head into negative, no-win, unhealthy, lower vibration energy. And the universe will only answer you back with all the reasons why you're broke or why you're stuck. It will say to you, hey, here you go, Stephanie, or here you go, John. I will keep showing you all the reasons why your life stinks today and why you have so many bills. So you're probably thinking, why in the heck would the universe torture me like that? Well, it's because you asked. You asked for all the reasons why, and the universe loved you so much, it responded to your request and it showed you. So my tip for the day is to ask a lofty question. What's a lofty question, you're probably thinking? Well, a lofty question is a question that skyrockets you, it lifts you, and it skyrockets the universe into positively manifesting your dream. It's an action-oriented question. Ponder this type of question for a minute. Why do I have more money than I need? Or why do I have more than enough money to pay my bills, save money, and have some left over to have some fun with? That's a cool question. Can you see what would happen to your focus? If you're thinking of ideas that generate more money, And you need abundance and more than enough, and that kind of energy is what's going to fall in your lap. You see, the universe loves you so much, it will support you and answer your questions. Ask, and it is given. So try asking some lofty questions today and see what type of things you start to focus on. Try this lofty question on for size. Why is my life so amazing? It exceeds all my expectations. Or how about this lofty question? What's the $1 million idea that I can manifest into my life today? Or how about this lofty question? How can the universe give me more than enough help than I ever thought possible? Or how about this one? What kind of person can I become that will amaze the world? Okay, that's my tip for the day. Have some fun. Share your lofty questions and what happened for you on this website. And let us know what happened. Many blessings to you, and thanks for sharing in this community.
Thank you, Christy. So that was the power of asking the right questions, lofty questions, according to Christy Marie Sheldon. And now, we'll go on to a very different technique. Now, if you'll notice, the first 3 techniques we have shared with you are all about reaching further in life, having more wealth, having more impact, simply doing more, moving towards your goals. But what about those situations where you might be in a bit of a mess? Let's say things go wrong. You know, this is a technique that you're going to learn right now that actually helps you take your energy and shift it away from the stuff in life that seems to be going wrong right now, so that you can heal those situations faster and make positive progress towards the future. It's called the energy redirection technique, and it comes from Bert Goldman. Bert is the author of Quantum Jumping. Quantum Jumping is one of our most popular courses on the Mindvalley Academy. Bert is in his 80s, and he's best known for, even though being 85, picking up all manner of skills from photography to painting to playing the piano well into his 80s through this process he calls quantum jumping, which he says allows him to tap into skills, knowledge, and abilities that most people believe they have no access to. So Bert, when he was approaching 80, made it into the Oklahoma Photography Hall of Fame under his pen name. His artwork is mind-blowing. His house, which I've visited in just in the outskirts of LA, filled with artwork, and it's all because of Bert's ability to learn new skills really rapidly. Now, Bert was also the #1 instructor for the Silver Method when he worked for that organization, and he would train thousands of people all across the world on unleashing the power of their mind. Bert has several books out. One of his books, The Silver Mind Control Method of Mental Dynamic, actually made it to the top 100 list of best personal growth books by Brian Johnson, the creator of Philosopher's Notes. So Bert is a wonderful teacher. Now, Bert was unable to get us a video in time due to certain circumstances, but what I'm going to do is, on behalf of Bert, train you on one of his techniques called energy redirection. I use this really often because it's such a beautiful technique, and it's something that we need to teach our kids, our loved ones, because it makes such a profound impact on your life. So basically, Bert shares the story of this technique in his book, and it starts really with a dented fender. What happened was Bert was leaving one of his classes with a group of students. Now, this was decades ago. And as he approached his car to give some of his students a ride home, he was that kind of guy. He would really spend a lot of time bonding with the people who would come to his lessons. He noticed that someone had hit his car, left a dented fender, and driven off. No note, nothing. Now, as Bert got into the car with his students to drop them home, the car was still functioning, of course. He felt slightly agitated. But he knew that this negative feeling wouldn't really be the optimal state of being. So how do you overcome this negative feeling? Well, Bert in the story goes on to say that what he did was he used that dented fender as a way to redirect his energy from the frustration anyone would normally feel from having their fender dented into a positive state of mind that would ultimately shift his reality to a solution. So here's how energy redirection works. When something goes wrong, you basically have a number of options. You could complain about it. The problem is, When you complain, you become a giant, living, breathing crap magnet. That's a quote of mine. Please share it on Twitter because it's true. When you complain, you become a giant, living, breathing crap magnet. See, if we believe that what we direct our thoughts to will expand, then when you are aggravated about something or frustrated about something, you're attracting more crap into your life. Bert knew this. He knew he could not be frustrated about his fender. So what is the solution then? Well, it's energy redirection. Bert drove his car with his students in it to a mechanic shop. He wanted to teach his students a powerful lesson. He asked the mechanic, what will it cost to fix this? The mechanic said, $300. Bert get back in the car and said, not a problem. And what he told his students is, he said, look, I just realized I have to fork out $300 to pay for this fender. Now, this was several decades ago. It was probably probably about several thousand in damage in today's money. But Bert said, I'm not going to fret. All I'm going to do is figure out how I can make an extra $300 a week. That's it. Now, he shifted his mind from focusing on the frustration of the dented fender to asking himself a beautiful question. What can I do to make an extra $300 a week? Well, as it turned out, what he ended up coming up with was just a little shift to his event flyer, just a tiny little design shift, which caused response to go up. That increasing response made him $300 that next week. But guess what? That increase in response, because he could replicate it, continued making him $300 every other week. That dented fender put hundreds of, probably thousands of dollars into Bert's pocket because of energy redirection. Every bit of crap that happens to you, you're faced with a choice. You can choose to complain and become a giant living, breathing crap magnet, or you can use it as a pivot, as a lever, to get you focusing on a new vision that will make that problem obsolete. Bert's solution, find a way to make an extra $300 a week. And see, it all came from a dented fender. So energy redirection is simple. When something bad happens in your life, don't focus on the badness. Focus on changing your thought, your directed thought, to a new vision, a new solution to help push away the negative aspect of what happened. Here's how you can use it. Let's say, for example, you are ill and you're stuck in hospital. Well, this happened to a friend of mine, Chad Moretta. He was in an accident. He was bedridden and stuck in hospital. He decided to use that opportunity to learn about iPhone apps. The iPhone had come out at that point. Chad went on to build an app, make money, and he went on to build and own hundreds of apps. He went on to write the book App Empire, and he became a millionaire from building apps for iPhone, all because he was bedridden and stuck in hospital. Let's say you just went through a breakup. Okay, some guy or girl treated you badly and dumped you. You're feeling awful. Well, applying energy redirection, you would, rather than focus on the breakup, focus instead on what is it that you truly want in a mate? What are the qualities that you want now that you're free? So you start making a list of the ideal qualities you want to see in your next love. You focus on becoming such an amazing guy or girl so that you would never go through that thing again. Or let's say you are laid off or demoted. This happened to me once. I got demoted at work. I decided to apply this technique to, rather than, whine about my boss or the circumstances of my company, figure out how I could earn my original income by doing some work on the side. That work that I did on the side ended up becoming the company that today is Mindvalley. Being demoted was one of the best things that ever happened to me. Let's say you've lost a business due to bankruptcy. Well, figure out what new business can you build so that you can make that money back, but also be in a right field right now, a new field where you have less likelihood of your business going sour. See, no matter what crap can happen to you, by shifting your energy to create a vision or a challenge inspired by that crap, you basically have your mind focusing on something positive. And since what you give thought to will expand in your universe, you will often find that that positive thing that you're focused on will come into play. The crap that happened disappears. Buckminster Fuller said it best. when faced with an intractable problem, rather than focus on the problem, focus on a new vision, a new model that renders the problem obsolete. Energy redirection works like a charm. So, let's now go on to our final technique. This is one of my favorite techniques, and Laura Silva is going to be sharing her wisdom with us. This technique is called the Mirror of the Mind, and it's by Laura Silva of the Silva Method. This technique was first pioneered by Laura's father, Jose Silva. So, the Silva Method, right? I shared with you some of the books that had had a profound impact on me. I did not have my Silva book with me because I lent it to a friend, but that book is the #1 book that had an impact on my life. It was printed in 1977, called the Silva Mind Control Method. And today it just goes by the name Silva Method. The Mindvalley is the official publisher of all these Silva Method programs. And on the Mindvalley Academy, you can get all 4 official Silva Method programs: Silva Life System, Silva Manifesting, Silva Mind Body Healing, Silva Intuition System. What makes the Silva Method so unique is that it gives you a series of mind tools. It's really like a martial arts for the mind that you can apply in almost any situation. And the Chicago White Sox has used it to improve their batting average. Best-selling author Jonathan Livingston Seagull, in an interview with Harper's Bazaar magazine, said that through the Silva Method, after his Silva class, he was able to tap into his creativity and help come up with the closing chapter for his best-selling book, Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Famous opera singer Margarita Piazza has used it, and if you've heard my story, I've used it for so many things. It is probably one of the best educations I've ever had. Now, there are numerous techniques in the Silva Method, but the #1 technique is this, the Mirror of the Mind. Now, I'm going to explain to you how it works, and I'm going to put up a couple of diagrams on your screen so you get the hang of it, right? So, firstly, all of us will, at some point, go through certain situations in life that we want to shift. It may be lost love. It may be bankruptcy. It could be any of the situations that we spoke about in our previous session with Bert. Or it could also be simply a situation where nothing bad has happened. You just want something better to happen. Let's say you have a relationship with your child or your spouse or your business partner that's stagnant, and you want to add some life to this relationship. Let's say you're going through some pain and you want to get rid of this pain, physical pain. Let's say you're having a flu and you want to recover faster. Or you are competing for a sporting competition, but you want hitting that score that you want to hit, and you want to improve your performance. Well, this is what Jose Silva found has worked for millions upon millions of people. Seriously, millions, capital M, because Jose Silva trained about 6 to 12 million people. Nobody knows for sure because the Silva Method is all across the world. It has hundreds of trainers alive today. But Jose Silva himself tested out a lot of his techniques on millions of people through him and his network of instructors. This technique has worked for so many situations. So it starts like this. You get into a meditative state of mind, and in front of you, you're going to pretend that you can see a giant movie screen. Jose Silva called this your mental screen. Now, the screen is not at the back of the eyelids. We want it to be at least 6 feet in front of you, huge. Make that screen gigantic. Now, on this screen, this gigantic movie screen in front of you, you are going to project an image of the problem. Now, there's a reason we call this the mirror of the mind. We want you to pretend that in this giant screen, see it as a mirror. See the problem. If you're feeling sadness, see yourself being sad. We want you to bring in emotion. Bring in the emotion of frustration, the emotion of sadness. Now, I know conventional creative visualization says don't focus on the problem, right? But what we're doing over here, you'll soon see, is we are establishing a before and after picture. So, you're going to see the problem. We want you to feel the pain. And we want you to put this problem, put a blue border around the screen. So, your mental mirror, your mental screen is going to have a blue border. The blue border is your symbolic signal to your mind that this is the problem that needs to shift. Now, I don't know fully why Jose Silva suggests the color blue, but testing this out, and he was a prolific tester, he found that this is what created the best results. Okay, so gigantic screen, blue border, you're going to project the problem onto that screen. Now, bring in as many senses as you can. So if you're not necessarily a visual person, but you're more auditory or kinesthetic, feel the pain, hear the sounds of that argument. And Jose Silva also says that you're better able to resolve the problem when you can see how it's impacting not just you, but your loved ones. So if this problem is somehow impacting your wife or your kids or someone else, see them going through pain too. We want you to feel the emotion. We want you to really feel the problem. But don't do this for too long. 1 minute to 3 minutes is enough. Now, what you're doing here is you're establishing in your mind what it is that you do not want. And by feeling the pain, you're lighting a fire under your butt to do something about the problem. And here's what you're going to do next. You're going to think of the problem as a project. You see, every problem is an opportunity or a challenge to be solved. We want you to now think of this not as a problem, but a project. So, for example, coming out of lost love, right? A bad breakup, you got dumped. See it as a project. Your project, it is not a problem. Heartbreak is not the problem. Pivot it into a project. Your project right now is to be the ideal man or woman so that you can attract genuine love. Or in the case of being demoted or losing your job, it becomes a project. Your project right now is to hone your skills so good that you can start your own company or get an even better job. Make the problem a project. Now, you may not know exactly how you're going to hone your skills. You may not know exactly how you're going to find that next love of your life. That's okay. What you're then going to do as you relabel this problem a project is you're going to project onto the screen the end result. Now see the happy you. Feel what you would feel as if this problem has been solved. Now here's the important thing. Change the border of the screen from blue to white. What you want to do right now, you don't have to know step by step how you're going to solve the problem. You want to see the problem as having resolved itself. See the end result. And, more importantly, feel the end result. Feel what it would be like to be with the true love of your life. What would you feel waking up in the morning? Feel being in that amazing job with a boss or co-workers that you truly love. How would you feel working in that situation? Feel the joy, the positive aspects of the solution. See it on your mental screen, bright, vivid, in all 5 senses, and feel that joy. And again, in Jose Silva's words, bring in other people. See how the solution is impacting others. Now, focus on this. Spend anywhere from 1 minute to 3 minutes, longer if you want. This is the fun part. And when you're done, come out of your meditation level. That's it. Whenever you feel the problem or you feel the pain of the problem coming back to you, remember to think of it as a project. Go back to the mental screen. See the problem, again in the blue screen, and then see the solution in a white screen. Now here's an important tip. Every time you bring back the problem, see it as having shifted or healed as new situations start emerging in life. So let's say the problem happens to be that you are going through back pain. See yourself with the pain as it is when you first start. Maybe it's at a level 10. And feel that pain. See how that pain is preventing you from playing with your kids. See how that pain is affecting others because it's making you grouchy. Then see the pain having disappeared. See yourself stretching, bending, doing yoga, doing all sorts of wonderful things with your back, but feeling completely flexible. Now, the pain may not disappear completely, but maybe from a 10 it'll go to a 9. So the next time you do the exercise, see the pain, but see it at that level 9. Okay? Do not exaggerate the problem. See the problem as it is. But as you're doing this right, the problem imagery starts getting better and better and better. But always end with the solution and the white frame. Now, Laura Silva is now going to explain the technique, go a little bit deeper, and give you some additional tips. Now, one of the tips Laura is going to give you is called the 3 fingers technique, right? I'm going to show this image so you know what that looks like. She says, after you come to the final screen where you see the end result, okay? You're going to join your 3 fingers together like this and create a mental lock, a mental trigger. So you'll join your 3 fingers together like this, and you're going to repeat the following ending statement to yourself. Whenever I have a need or desire to feel this way, think this way, or behave this way, all I have to do is join my 3 fingers together like this, and it will be so. That's what it looks like again. Whenever I have a need or desire to feel this way, think this way, or behave this way, all I have to do is join my 3 fingers together like this, and it will be so. So, remember, you're looking at the final screen, you're feeling the joy of the solution. Before you come out of your meditation, join your 3 fingers together and repeat this affirmation. Whenever I have a need or desire to feel this way, think this way, or behave this way, all I have to do is join my 3 fingers together like this, and it will be so. Now, what you're doing is you're creating an automatic trigger in your mind so that if the problem ever comes back to you, you start feeling doubt or sadness. By joining your 3 fingers together, you are training your mind like the way a hypnotist can train you to change your state through snapping his fingers. You are training your mind to bring back the positive qualities you've associated with the solution, so your mind instantly gets back on track and you're once again positive, happy, and excited. Okay, now let's bring on Laura.
Across the world and throughout the land, people will always comment that the one technique that they love the most of the Silva method is the mirror of the mind. It is so simple. 3 simple steps. 1, identify the problem. 2, picture your outcomes. And 3, step into the outcome. That's the main secret right there. You must step into the experience of you already having achieved, because that's when your body, your brain, and your mind are able to memorize the new you and take it as if it's already happened. Let me tell you how to do it. Super easy. First, you go into meditation, as you know how to do, or internalize your focus, and then you visualize a blue frame in an area we call the mental screen area. That's an area that's past your eyelids and away from your body. Don't use your eyelids as screens, and don't try to picture it like in your head. No, imagine you're at a theater watching a movie, and it's in that area that's out and away from you that you project the image of your present situation or your problem. Now, anytime you're thinking about the present or the problem, you're visualizing, because you're recalling something that you're already familiar with. So once you visualize the present or the problem situation in a mental picture inside a blue frame, once you study it, be real clear about it, be very honest with yourself, you then move the frame towards your left, erase the problem image, change the frame to white, and then project a solution or outcome image. The goal in mind, the future you already having arrived or already having achieved. Once you create that, elaborate it. What is it that you want? When is it going to happen? Who's going to be there? How will it make your life different and better? And why is it important to you? Involve emotions and passion to that, because you want to really feel it and experience it fully and completely, why you want to achieve that goal, that outcome. But once it's really clear, imagine as if you can step into that image of you already achieved, already having arrived at your goal, and now experience it fully and completely. That's how you do it. And once you get it fully and completely, just right, where you feel whole and complete and everything is so wonderful, remember to do one more thing. Lock it in. If you don't know the 3 fingers technique yet, then this is how you do it. You put your 3 fingers together and you give it the experience, you assign to it the experience of having achieved your goal. So once you get out to the outcome image and it's all just right and your body, brain, and mind have memorized everything, you say to yourself, whenever I have a need or desire to feel this way, think this way, believe this way, or behave this way, all I need to do is put my 3 fingers together, one or both hands, it doesn't matter, and it will be so. What this helps you to do is that whenever you feel vulnerable or less than positive and you need a little nudge along the way, by doing this, closing your eyes and bringing back this wonderful feeling of accomplishment will get you back on track and keep you on target.
So thank you, Laura Silva. Hope you enjoyed the Mirror of the Mind technique. That was from the famous book, The Silva Mind Control Method by Jose Silva. Of course, that book is sold about 12 million copies, got translated to about 80 different languages, and sparked the Silva Method seminars and classes, which are now held all around the world. Mindvalley is the official publisher, so you will find most Silva Method products on the Mindvalley Academy. In fact, we are the official publisher for the Silva Method. Now, thank you for spending this time with us. What I want to share right now, in appreciation for you attending this webinar, is tell you about a really cool thing that we're doing to celebrate 6 months at the Mindvalley Academy. And if you're a big Mindvalley fan, you love learning from us, this is just a no-brainer. We are basically going to show you a new system that we're doing to allow people to really dive into programs in the Mindvalley Academy at a cost that is just so affordable. Anyone could do it, even if you are in college right now and do not actually have a job. So first off, we've released a whole new look for the Mindvalley Academy, and I hope you guys like it. We have hit about 100 authors right now, so our faculty is about 100, and you'll notice many of the best names in the business, such as Eckhart Tolle, now have courses on the Mindvalley Academy. But the best thing that we're doing, and we open this up maybe every 6 months, so it's not something you can jump in at any time, but enrollment is open right now for Mindvalley Prime. Mindvalley Prime is a 1-year education program on the Mindvalley Academy. And what happens is, for 1 year, you get access to many of our best programs, including programs from all 5 experts who just shared their wisdom with you. So think about this, right? What did college cost you? I know I have a customer support team member on my team right here in this office who went to Reed College in Oregon. He spent about 50 grand a year in his education. He was an out-of-state student. College can be expensive, and I'm in no way dismissing college or saying that it's unnecessary, but it is incomplete. You see, as I've shared with you, my opinion is that the things that gave me the greatest leaps in my life were not necessarily the skills I learned in college, but it was the transformational education that I came through from many of these books that I was exposed to. I started out, of course, with the Silver Method, the book I just shared. It was the Silver Method which has added more value to my life than my entire computer engineering degree from one of America's top engineering universities. It was what I learned from the Silver Method that made me go beyond just being a programmer to running multiple tech companies, one of which I just sold and has recently gone public. So what did college cost you? Probably cost you a ton. But if you think about it, what you truly learned from college were the friendships, love, working really hard to get those grades that were important to you. It was the transformational effect of college, not so much the skill. And what we want to do is design a tool where you can fill in these education gaps. You can gain those skills in relationships, in health and body, in increasing your longevity, in moving towards successful goals, in setting the right goals, in manifesting more beautiful outcomes with your mind, the things that you should have learned in college but never got a chance to because your education was incomplete. But the best part is we're going to do it at a cost that is a fraction of college. Not even a fraction, but less than 5%. Less than 5%. We call it the Transformational Education Program of the Year. So what happens with Mindvalley Prime is you're going to get access to all these programs, and just wait till you see the price at the end, because I know you're going to be mind blown. So firstly, the Silver Life System. Silver Life System has about 43,000 students in the Mindvalley Academy. In fact, this number has probably gone up. That image might be a little bit old. And it is the basic program that is molded on the 2-day Silver Life System class. People spend close to $500 to $1,000 to fly in for the weekend and attend this class. You're getting this entire program for free as part of Mindvalley Prime. So that's not all though. Going beyond that, you will also get Om Harmonics. Om Harmonics is a meditation audio. People absolutely love it. Om Harmonics sells retail for about $99, but these are some of the most beautiful meditation tracks available in the world today. So in addition to the Silver program, once you learn all these Silver tools, you now have the advantage of Om Harmonics audios that you can use to go into deep states of meditation and apply these Silver tools. But we won't stop there. Longevity, healing, health, working with your body's chakras is key to a lot of people. You'll be getting Carol Tuttle's Chakra 7 course. This is about a $200 to $300 program, and it's part of Mindvalley Prime. Then we're taking you to the next level of the Silver Method, Silver Manifesting with Laura Silva. So while Silver Life System teaches you the basics of the Silver Method, in Silver Manifesting you learn advanced skills to bend reality to create your ideal life. You learn how to attract more money, more love, more happiness, more success, how to engineer luck, manifest synchronicities. You learn to remove 6 obstacles that most people face when they are trying to create the life that they truly desire. And best thing about Silva is it's backed by science. It has been studied in some 5 different universities. So you are gaining something that has been tested, refined over about 50 years. But we won't stop there. There's a 5th course that also you'll get access to, Tapping into Abundance. This is by Carol Look, and it's about using emotional freedom technique to transform your careers, finance, relationship, and life itself. It's about reprogramming your mind, eliminating blocks, opening to real abundance. Tapping is gaining worldwide fans, including Wayne Dwyer, Louisa Hay, Chip Conley, Ariel Ford. It's backed by cutting-edge research, and this particular program teaches you how to use emotional freedom technique or tapping to unblock abundance blocks that might be holding you back. Now, then we come to one of my favorite authors, Christy Marie Sheldon. This is the Love or Birth program that I so love, the program I took in 2010 that shifted my life. It's about working with your energy ecosystem. It's about connecting with the highest version of yourself, living your life with a deep sense of love, well-being, and new possibility, eliminating subconscious blocks, connecting with your guides. This program is really deep. It is one of the most advanced programs in the Mindvalley Academy. And you basically have to experience it to really get what it's about, because some of the stuff that is covered in this program, we do not even share on the website, because unless you go through the program, you wouldn't believe some of the things that Christy Marie is suggesting about the true nature of reality. So it's a beautiful program, but you have to go through it, and it's kind of beautiful because you keep unraveling more and more and more about what your true nature is and what you're truly capable of. Then we come to quantum jumping, which is the 7th course that is part of Mindvalley Prime. And with quantum jumping, you learn one of the most powerful creative visualization techniques out there. You learn how to develop skills, pick up new abilities through Bert Goldman's program, quantum jumping. Then you go on to another Silva program, which is truly important, and that is the Silva Intuition System. Jose Silva became one of the first people in the world to claim that he could train people to perform psychically. This is what this program is about. It's about unlocking your mind's ability for reliable and consistent intuition, exploding your inspiration, your creativity, and problem-solving skills, consistently generating better ideas and avoiding making bad decisions. You learn how to tap into sources of information outside your mind so you can be more creative. You can gain inspiration. You can ask questions about situations in life which are bugging you and get the right answer. You also develop more empathy. And one thing I found is you develop the idea to get remarkable ideas for writing, for business, for even for new inventions. There's a group of Silva graduates who started a company using these tools and have now they now have about 7 patents under their belt. So those are 8 programs that you get as Mindvalley Prime. Now, we know that some of you may already own 1 or 2 of those programs. We don't want that to turn you off from signing up for Prime. So what we're going to do is we're just going to toss in 2 additional programs for free. We're going to toss in Bob Proctor's 11 Forgotten Laws. This is a remarkable program. Bob Proctor was the #1 speaker and face in the hit movie The Secret. But he claims that The Secret is one of 12 different laws. These are the 11 forgotten laws, and you truly learn how to attract more wealth, how to avoid mistakes and eliminate self-sabotage, how to reprogram your beliefs on money, how to empower all areas of your life. And finally, you get Philosopher's Notes. 100 Philosopher's Notes. Philosopher's Notes is a best-selling program. Marie Claire magazine, when we released this in 2011, said this was their #2 favorite thing of the year. #1 was Lady Gaga. So we'll get you next time, Lady Gaga. But Philosopher's Notes are book summaries of the 100 greatest books on personal growth by a charismatic individual called Brian Johnson, who started 2 companies in Silicon Valley, sold them, retired to Bali, and worked to teach the knowledge of the key books in transformational education. You're going to get 100 book summaries. Listen to these in the car on your way to work, 20 minutes a book, and you absorb grand ideas that will shift your life. So you get 10 programs as part of Mindvalley Prime. Now you're wondering, right? Okay, this is really, really, really cool. Think about the investment this is going to be for your family, for your spouse, for your kids. You're buying this not for yourself, but for your family. Now, if you were to get these programs individually, you're spending between $1,700 to $2,000. $1,700 to $2,000. With Mindvalley Prime, it's $4.95 for the entire year. What this means is that for just $4.95, you get access to all 10 programs instantly. So you could be studying Philosopher's Notes while your wife or spouse is going through Silver Life System, and your kid is learning meditation through Om Harmonics. You basically set up your entire family and all your friends, whoever you want to share it with transformational education. Now, how is that for an amazing deal? Now, I do recognize, I did say in the beginning, that even if you're just a college student, you can afford this because we want to get this out in the hands of 1 million people. And so we also have $49 a course. And this is a pay-as-you-go system. So I'll explain more of that in a moment. But first, let me just show you what people have been saying on the internet. When we released this on October 4th last year, this was just a conversation thread. So this chap, Pete Hall, said, this is an insane offer. Everybody should jump on it. Anil Gupta, below that, replied and said, I'm spending 5 hours a day on my personal growth. This makes it so much easier. This is a no-brainer. And that lady, Elizabeth Purvis, said, I just signed up as well. To say I'm blown away is an understatement. Thank you, Vision. So, pay as you go. This is where money should not be a problem. You can sign up monthly. That means you basically get one course a month for $49 a month. That's it, $49 a month. If you do the math, that's just over $1 a day. It's about $1.60, $1.70 a day. And you start with, when you start, you get points. You can unlock any course you want a month for just $49. So at the end of the year, you paid about $600, but it's $49 a month. And you have 12 months to go through the program. Or you can sign up for $4.95, so now you're saving a little even more, and you get all courses unlocked at once, and you can share it with your family. So that's what we are offering with Mindvalley Prime. Really, it is a remarkable program. It's a way to get your life at a whole different level and to get exposure to many of the best minds in personal growth. Nothing comes close. Look, if you were to go to many of these authors' websites and look at the programs they're selling for about $200 to $300. That's because none of these programs by themselves have enough momentum for the prices to come down. But by grouping them together, by using Mindvalley's huge webinar attendance to sell these in bulk, you're basically getting these for like wholesale prices. So I look forward to having you as a new student enrolled in Mindvalley Prime. Scroll down below, you will see an enrollment button. Just click to enroll. And when you enroll, you'll get access to all the programs in the Mindvalley Academy. Thank you so much. And by the way, needless to say, all of these are marked by Mindvalley's unconditional money-back guarantee. But if you sign up for this and you certainly feel that this isn't for you, just shoot an email to customer support and you'll get a full unconditional refund. We're cool that way. So thank you all for listening, and I hope you sign up and enroll in Mindvalley Prime.